Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the Political Brown Kid here. I did a video, and it's going to come out, and it's with Bernadette Stannis, and she's talking about something, and she basically confirms that Esther Rolle did something for the perception of Black people on the show of Good Times, for the perception of the Black family. And in addition to her doing that, she also did John Amos a favor. And so definitely check the archives on my archives. Hit the like button, definitely hit the subscribe button so that you'll get these video feeds. But I'm going to play this clip right now that's going to kind of tie into that video that I did about with Bernadette Sanders. And it kind of ties into the thing that I've been talking about for a long time in terms of advocating for one another. Particularly Black women advocating for Black men for particular roles in movies. I'm going to show you this clip right here. Now, the one thing I'm going to preface this by saying this right now is that this video, it is dealing with Kevin Samuels. So I don't want the women to immediately hear Kevin Samuels and automatically think that this is going to be a video bashing Black women. It is not. This is a video that he's talking about the film industry, and he's proving the point that I've been trying to make for months now, for months online, but I've been making this point for years with my friends. So I'm going to play this video. Definitely, I want you all to pay attention to it. And women, just don't pay attention if you have a total hate for Kevin Samuels. This is not about him bashing Black women. This is about him talking about the film industry. So just pay attention to that point. So here we go.
Sandra Ryan, Scandal, Love and Hip Hop, all these things. Who are they looking for? Who are they written for? What audience?
For the Black audience.
Thank you.
Okay. But again, if we are not choosing what goes on the air, because they're not finding all content for Black people, it's a certain type of content for Black people that they want to show and they want to perpetuate. And then we are watching because it's programming, and we are following.
I come from the industry, and I will tell you that I come from the advertising and marketing. So let me tell you, if Black people did not consume that product, they would not put it out there. There's a market for it. There was a movie called The Hollywood Shuffle, written by, who was it written by? Not Tommy Davidson. The guy that wrote Five Heartbeats, Robert Townsend. And the whole premise of the movie was a bunch of Black stereotypes. He was mocking Blaxploitation films of the 70s. And that's the same argument that Black people made in the 70s. These are all the roles we have as pimps and maids and this and that. The whole premise of that movie was, if that's the only roles that are available, then we don't do them, because there's always work at the post office. Robert Townsend made that movie in 1989, and it stands to this day. If that's all that's written, we don't do the work. But the fact that we're willing to do the work makes us culpable, because there's always work at the post office.
There are certain people that are going to want certain things. So you're going to find, everybody has a price. So
Be white exec, and this and that. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry built a $1 billion film industry, still on tropes about Black people. Spike Lee. Spike Lee didn't have to play the tropes. He played against the tropes. See, accountability is like kryptonite. It ain't our fault. It is our fault. Don't take the roles. Asian people stopped taking the roles of coolies and all that stuff, and they started making their own films or rejecting the films. But the notion that there's always somebody that will do it, it's still our responsibility.
So this is what I've been saying for quite some time now. The one thing that I just dislike with our people, Black people, is that we make all kind of excuses about everything. We want to deflect blame, and we don't want to acknowledge our role in certain events that prevent us from actually moving forward in life. You used to hear that argument all the time. Matter of fact, they made the argument in Boys in the Hood, and then I remember once that argument was made, everyone likes to run with that argument. I've even seen this argument on news networks where, people say, well, in terms of drugs and, illegal activity, you'll hear black people say, well, we're not the ones making and building the guns and selling the guns. How did the guns get into our neighborhoods? Or how did the drugs get into our neighborhood? They always want to make that argument to deflect. And I'm not trying to say it's not a valid argument. It is. But just because somebody drops off a kilo of something, of a narcotic on your front lawn doesn't mean that you have to go ahead and consume it. Just because somebody drops off a crate of weapons on your front lawn doesn't mean that you have to use them. You can do several things. You can destroy the weapons. You can return the sender. You can call the police, have them come pick it up. You can do a whole bunch of other things, but we fail to want to take responsibility. So in terms of the media and music, and particularly in this case, I'm talking about actually the movie and film industry. You have a lot of people that they take roles just because they want their big break. And the big break always comes at a cost. And people always look to see the individual advancement that's going to be made, but they don't look at the overall big picture. And what I mean by that is this. Everyone says, well, I got to get mine. It's going to help me launch my career. So I'm going to play this role of, this, whatever the role may be. And no matter how raunchy or crude the role may be, they'll do it to sell their soul to advance their career. You see this too with a lot of black females that are participating in these ghetto gagger movies. And trust me, once again, what hurts me to my heart in that aspect, and I keep talking about this, is that I literally sat down and watched some of these videos from that Ghetto Gaggers channel. And this is why sometimes I don't want to continue doing this, is because it's just a bunch of stuff. You're just consuming negativity all day long to try to find content to publish, to give to people on the internet that doesn't even care. Because trust me, I had to watch grape soda being poured on black females while they were sodomized. I had to watch, them have to recite black history and get asked black history questions while they're being sodomized. And you have to watch this type of stuff. And I published it online. I went on Twitter and I tagged various individuals in it. Oprah Winfrey, Gayle King, Tyler Perry. I tagged the NAACP, I tagged Visa, MasterCard, American Express, because they're the ones helping to support that channel in processing the payments for that channel. And they're still backing that channel. And I did a whole campaign for like 2 months, tweeting almost every day, what are you guys going to do about this? What are you guys going to do about that? No one cared. I got maybe 2 likes. Now, once again, I don't have a big Twitter following or X as they want to call themselves now. I don't even have a big following on this channel. So it falls on deaf ears. But somebody had to have seen it because I looked at the impressions. And no one reposted it or sent it back to other people to say, we need to do something about this. But yet you cry and complain. It's amazing that so long as we're doing something sexual with people, anything goes. But they draw the line when black men get choked or when black women get accidentally hurt by the police. But as long as we're participating in racist, nasty stuff online, no one cares. But I'm digressing, but I'm really not, because that ties in with this. When you, like I told y'all, the people that own the Ghetto Gaggers network, they also owned another channel. It was called Latina Throats or something like that. And they also had another channel. Now, what I'll say about it is this. When you looked at the Latina channel, the last updates that they did to that channel was years ago. Years ago. They don't even create new content for that. If you go to the Ghetto Gaggers channel, they publish content every week or every other week. Every other week, they're dropping a new video with a new black girl. So either the Latina women got out of the business and said, we're no longer participating in this, is not right, or there wasn't a market for it, or somebody advocated it to get it shut down. Now, with the Black channel, I tried to advocate to get it shut down. It fell on deaf ears. So I did my part. But obviously, Black women continually want to go on that channel to do this type of stuff, to be asked questions about who do you like better, Black men or white men? Yeah, you like the white man better. White men's penises are bigger. Don't you feel we're just as big? They just get asked all of these racial questions. Why don't you like Black men? And it's just a bunch of stuff that they get asked on these channels. No one's asking too, and I told y'all too about the video where you see Black women participating in sodomizing acts where they're the only one woman with 9 or 10 white men wearing Confederate flag shirts or they're dressed up in Klan outfits, and we participate in stuff like this. I have yet to see, and trust me, I have yet to see a Jewish person, and I've even Googled it. I've yet to see a Jewish person, they role play to say, here's a Jewish person and they're going into a Nazi concentration camp and a bunch of Nazis are going to, sodomize them and do this, that, and the third. Jewish people respect themselves enough to say, I'm not even role playing like this. We're not doing this type of stuff. But Black people are the only ones that will allow this type of stuff to occur. Similarly, and I know you're like, well, that is media, because people consume adult content just as much as they consume Lord of the Rings and all this other stuff. So that's why I'm bringing up the adult content into this, is that we will do anything for $1. And as you heard Kevin Samuels say, there's some things that you just should draw a line on and just say no. I've been trying to tell y'all this. So the reason why I'm doing this video is maybe if it's coming from me and I know I'm not the most charming person in the world, maybe people will listen to Kevin Samuels because he's just proving my point. Also, too, when we're talking about mainstream movies, how come it is that no Black women are saying, why isn't my lead a Black man? Why am I always constantly being paired up with white men? And why is it that they have the most angriest, most jungle love type sex with me on camera? Why is it that I am always paired up like doing this type of stuff? Why is it that this person is a Black? Why aren't Black women questioning these type of roles in film is where I'm going. You don't see it. They participate in these films, and it's just because, this is going to make or break my career. Halle Berry doing Monsters Ball, make me feel good. And you didn't see her interact with her husband, Sean Combs. He's locked up behind bar. Once again, it's the same stereotype. They got the Black man locked up, and they put him to sleep. They kill him. They execute him. And see, this is the pattern. Hollywood's trying to tell you that that's what we want to do. Remove the Black man from planet Earth, and we just want to take and consume all their women. If y'all are not familiar with the art of war, the art of war is plain and simple. When people take over and go to war and they invade a particular area, the first thing they do is they take the women. And that's been going on since Vietnam. You go over to Vietnam, and you got soldiers walking around, you got young women walking around in despair. The soldiers gonna bang the women. And it was more barbaric back in the day. They would even take the women in barbaric times. This is what goes on continuously to this day. A fella will tell you too, if I got beef with my enemy, how I'm gonna get my enemy back, I'm gonna bang his wife or I'm gonna bang his girl. That's what people do. You can be a racist and still bang other. This is what men will do. We will be racist towards other groups of people. But hey, the woman, that's a different thing because I'll still bang it. If it's hot enough, if it's fine enough, I'm going to hit it. So the point that I'm trying to say is this. When you have women that won't even advocate for men, but yet you have a person like Nia Long, and y'all can look this up. Nia Long, I remember her being on a talk show, and I don't know if you'll find this clip, but I swear she said it. I remember her being on a show, and they were having when they did Best Man Holiday. Nia Long basically said she advocated to have her character, I forget the name of her character in The Best Man, but in The Best Man Holiday, she advocated for her character to be in an interracial relationship because she wanted to see white people injected into the show and see a diverse side of what black women are. Black women are always thinking about a white man. I just can't make this stuff up. But when have you ever heard a black woman say that I advocated for my love interest to be a black male in this big multi-million-dollar movie? They don't do it. You don't hear that, and they're not doing it. So all you see are a bunch of black women running around with white men, and the black man that's in this movie, he's either gay or he's asexual, and he's just floating around in the show. I just did one on the movie Anyone But You. Look it up, Hollywood in black and white. Anyone But You. The black guy in there didn't even interact with his own sister. He had probably maybe 3 seconds. I think I counted it. He had a 3 second scene where he actually had a dialogue with his sister, who was actually, his sister was actually gay or lesbian, and she was getting married to a white lesbian. They didn't pair her up with a black lesbian. They paired her with a white lesbian. So they don't even make y'all, even when we're gay, they put us with in interracial relationships. And no one sits down and pushes back and say enough is enough. And just as Kevin Samuels basically said in his show, in this clip right here, he basically said it too. When you see Tyler Perry and them, black people are followers. And that's the problem that I have with black people. We see that white people are making content showing all of this swirling and interracial loving going on. And then black people just follow suit. You watch Tyler Perry. He has a show called Sisters. He has a show called The Oval. And mind you, I don't watch the shows. I've probably seen maybe a quick second of those shows. But I can tell you right now, they got to have a black woman with a white man. They got to have a black woman with a white man. And this is coming from your own people. He has his own studio. So I'm assuming that you're the boss. You're king. You're at the top of the pile. So nobody should be telling Tyler Perry what he can and can't produce. But this is what he chooses to do. You can watch I didn't watch P-Valley. But one thing I can tell you that I saw on P-Valley, because I saw like about I just had the television on one day and I forgot to change the channel, but I do not watch P-Valley because I know what I'm going to see. And I dang sure saw it. I saw a black male with just very feminine, fingernail, just acting like a woman. And then you got a pretty black woman and she's with a white guy. You can't make this stuff up. So the question I asked, just as what's his name said in this thing, Kevin Samuels said in this clip, when are we going to say, hey, there's better work out here. There's either work at the post office for me, or maybe I can take the Country Wayne route, the Desi Banks route. They make good money, and I can go online and I can do the stuff I want to do, the content that I want to do, and I can monetize it. And at that rate, I can be my own boss. I can control the content that I put out, and I can be my own boss. Trendy Topic Tiff, she's another one. Trendy Topic Tiff does good stuff. Independent. Now, maybe these people had to take these routes, but they're doing something. They're independent, and they do what they do, and they do it well, and they're not complaining. But it's always the ones that have to sell their soul and sell out. And then they just go along because they think that Hollywood's going to bring them money, and until Hollywood drops them. But this is the Political Brown Kid. I just kind of wanted to do this video. Definitely, once again, hit the like and subscribe button. That way you get notified of my content, as well as trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to reach more people to bring awareness to what I see in society is going to be a future problem. So once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. Take care.